Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. To start off with, I wanted to mention a few things that are going on recently. So for starters, my page Day in the Life it has been restricted, as well as my personal page, um, till the 23rd. I can only gather it's because of the election. Um, so it's going to be difficult. There's going to be a lag on sharing content. I can't share posts, like posts, comment on certain posts on other groups uh, and pages. And I'm not even sure if anything can be shared to my page, if that's even the case. I can't even do live feeds right now on Facebook. And I'm sure there's many others out there that are dealing with the same thing. Um, with that being said, I wanted to touch on uh, with that going on and with everything that's going on right now with the election and with the Democratic Party. I wanted to touch on some subject matter that I'm sure is controversial. I have been told by many people through conversations that I don't know what communism is and socialism. I've had people tell me that that communism and socialism aren't the same thing. They don't have anything. They're not related in any way. There's no connection. Um, and as I will show you here soon, that's not true. To digress for a minute, when many of us and when other people, many conservatives especially, have stated that to to do actual research, to look at other sources than mainstream media. What we are talking about is, for an example, like this. Find it at a library, at Walmart. It's an actual book, physical book. Nothing on the internet, a book. I'm not just talking about a dictionary, but the reason why I'm showing you a dictionary is because I was gonna get to the point of what the whole definition of communism and socialism is, what the actual word means, not someone's opinion or theory on the word, um, but what the word translates to. So when you look it up, for starters, when you look it up just on Google, not looking up like a website, like a dictionary website, when you look up um, just on Google, the first thing that comes up, hold on, the first thing that comes up is and this is why we state to look at other sources other than mainstream media, other than the internet, even for the most part. And this is why. Uh, it's a political theory derived from Karl Marx. Now that part it may be true, but the fact that it leads with that is problematic, um, because it's not getting at the basis of what the word means. It's it's going from someone's perspective on what they believe, um, and not what it all entails. So when you actually look up a website, and mind you, I'm not looking it up in the actual book because flip, trying to find that through all these pages right now is going to take too long. But I just wanted to show you guys that there's an actual physical source that people can go to other than the internet. Because it seems to be people seem to have forgotten unless they just don't care. Um, but when you look at so like for instance dictionary.com and you go on and you search communism, and I'm sure many of you know this, but for those of you that don't, for many of the viewers that have either been spoon-fed lies, if you favor uh, the left side, um, if you value their the the values, if you will, um, that they stand by. This is why I'm talking about it, um, because I feel like it's not talked about enough. A theory or system of social organization based on the holdings of all property in common, ownership being ascribed to the community as a whole. The other thing it mentions is a system of social organization in which all economic and social activity is controlled by a totalitarian state, or totalitarian government, if you will. That's communism. Now, the funny thing about this is many liberals and Democratic Party, and those that affiliate with the Democratic Party, stand by that they are against a totalitarian government, a dictatorship, if you will. But the values that they hold are exactly that which um, which instill a dictatorship type, totalitarian government. Um, the the conservatives, we have never, no conservative has ever held that value. We've never stood by that, as some may say that President Trump was a or is a dictator. He hasn't dictated anyone's lives. He has brought the economy to an all-time high, lowered taxes, which goes across the board. People will argue um, that it only affects one subset of people, one class of people, and that's not. If that's what you believe, then you don't know how taxes work, because that's not how it works. I mean, when you lower taxes, it lowers the taxes on groceries. It lowers the tax on gas. It go across the board. Um, and that's also why you see gas prices drop. Since Biden has been officially named the president-elect and he is going to be inaugurated, um, if if anyone's been paying attention, gas has gone up about around 10, maybe 12 cents a gallon, or give or take. Um, and granted, that's not a huge leap, but it's just to show you what's coming. Um, this is not good. This is only going to cause. I mean, this is just at the base of the problem. This isn't. You know, there's more. What I see is things are going to get worse. Things are not going to get better. Many of you think, oh, it's you guys think that that the values that the Democratic Party hold are a good thing. They're not, because in the end, the only person or people that benefit from it is the party in control, which is the Democratic Party, um, and the people in power. Anyone else ends up losing out. Um, now to digress a little, because I kind of went on a tangent, but when you look up socialism, it's a theory or system of social organization that advocates the ownership and control of means of production, distribution, capital, land, etc. Now, when I said that earlier, when I said that socialism and communism do have a connection, that they are on some level one and the same, here's where I prove that, and this is what I'm talking about. In Marxist theory, so referring back to Karl Marx or Karl Marx, the stage following capitalism in the transition of a society to communism. So if you stand for and you support a socialistic basis in government, you are essentially supporting and pushing for communism, whether you know it or not. And with what's going on right now with the censorship and profiles and accounts on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter being canceled, like President Trump's, for instance. That is a direct, that is an example of what we've been talking about all along about the attack on the First Amendment. If any of you have said that, or if you have stood behind that the government was not going to go after our uh, after the Constitution, after our First Amendment, and uh, any other God-given right, if you will, um, you have been lied to. If that's what you've been told and that's what you believe, and if you're telling yourself that, you you are lying to yourself and you've been lied to. Um, because what's going on with social media, with blocking accounts, like right now, like I said, I can't. My account is restricted. I can't comment or share or like on certain pages or posts. Um, that is an attack on the First Amendment. This is not what the United States is about. This is not what America is about. When when the colonists came and colonized America to what we know now as the United States, they did so to get away because they didn't want to live under that kind of rule. They didn't want to live under a socialist, communist dictatorship. And that's exactly the direction we're heading with Biden and Kamala Harris in office. The, for any of you that think that the Democratic Party cares about the American people, they do not. People in that party, and and then there are frauds in the Republican Party. I've noticed it, especially now with everything that's going on from January 6th at the Capitol. People have divulged their true colors. Some, not all, but everything that's come down with this election is a revelation, if you will, of what people's true natures are and what's really happening. Um, the Democratic Party does not care about the will of the people and what's best for the American, uh, much less the human race, if you will. They only care about themselves and the money that lines their pocket. Um, I don't want to drag into a long spiel. There's a lot I could cover, but I just wanted to put it out there that the road we're heading down is going to be a very bumpy road, and it's not going to get better. I really don't see it getting better. Um, it's just, I mean, the mask mandate is a perfect example of a totalitarian type, systemic control type uh, ordeal, telling people that they cannot go about their normal routine that they've always done because they aren't wearing a mask all of a sudden is dictatorship. Telling people that they have to wear a mask if they're going to go into any business, or in some states, even outside. If they leave their house, they have to have a mask on. This is not about the whole mask thing, and it's a whole nother topic. But just in hindsight, the this whole topic on this virus and the masks has been a ploy and set up from the beginning. I'm not saying that there isn't a virus, but a lot of what's taken place and the measures that have taken place and the way people are reacting um, is very much a totalitarian dictatorship type mentality, um, and it's unacceptable. It's been 9 months. I've never worn a mask, and I'm not going to start now. Um, this isn't about health and safety. It's about seeing how far people will go and how much they can control people. If they tell people to jump, they'll jump. And that's exactly what's happening. And it's not right because it's gonna seeing that people are just falling in line and obeying like this over stuff that is completely nonsensical, um, just shows them that they can push further. That there's, and I wouldn't be surprised in the coming months, in the next, you know, in within the next 4 years, if Biden makes it even a year. I don't honestly. I see things getting worse. I see things progressing much more. I hope I'm wrong. I would like to see things go back to normal, but with the way many of the Democrats are acting, and many people, I mean, I don't see it changing. People are have been, eh, in some sense, almost programmed to think the way they're thinking now. Um, in Prescott Valley, there was a customer at the Goodwill that went in that was not wearing a mask, and granted, over the 9 months, they've never mandated masks. They've never required masks. So the person went in, and someone literally tackled them and restrained them in the store. Another customer restrained them and attacked them in the store because they weren't wearing a mask. This is unacceptable. This should not be happening. And the cops were called because the person wasn't wearing a mask. Cops being called because someone's not wearing a mask inside a store like that, or uh, that right there, getting law enforcement involved is a basis of totalitarianism. I mean, the way people are thinking, and I mentioned this in a previous video, and I'll put it at the end of this video, so stick with me. But I had talked about Arizona and mask mandates. Um, the fact that the Prescott Police Department is lying to people, telling people that it is a state law, that it's a state ordinance, that it's mandated that you have to wear a mask anywhere you go, isn't true. If you look it up online, and I could look it up right now, um, no one in the state of Arizona has mandated or made it a state ordinance to wear a mask. Uh, Nowhere in Yavapai County. I don't know about Maricopa County. They might be a little different down in Phoenix, but anywhere north of Phoenix, like in anywhere in Yavapai County for the most part, other than well, yeah, I don't even think in Flagstaff. I mean, I know there's businesses in Flagstaff that require masks, but outside of that, they're not mandated. There's no state ordinance, and this is just a prime example of dictatorship by forcing people to, as a collective, and that all points back to communism and socialism. Um, no one having a choice of what they want to do or wear, or where they can or cannot go due to circumstances dictated by government is, in essence, communism. And with that, socialism. I mean, they're hand in hand, and it's completely unacceptable. Um, I don't. I guess putting this out there on YouTube, I really urge any of you, if any of you viewers out there, if you are left leaning, if you voted for Biden now, I urge you in the coming years when the next election hits that you seriously do some soul searching and deep down, genuine, honest research and really look at the way pay attention to things that happen. Don't look at other people's. I mean, look to yourself. Don't look at other people's perception and opinions, but look within yourself and look and pay attention to what is and what will be happening, and tell yourself and ask yourself, if this is really what you want. And if it's not, I strongly urge you in the next election to vote Republican. Um, because, and I'm repeating myself, I'm reiterating, but what's happening and what's going to be happening um, is is not going to be good. It's going to be a bumpy road, and I don't. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see things getting better. So that's all I have. Again, like I said, do some genuine research. I mean, look at actual physical books, not online, if you can. Right now in Prescott, the library is closed again because of COVID for the what fourth time, I think, third or fourth time. Um, so obviously that's not an option right now. But I mean, if you can find websites, sources online that are non-biased, do so and actually educate yourself because the events that have occurred as of late, I, I'm I I don't I'm speechless. That is all for tonight. Give me a thumbs up if you're seeing this. Drop a comment below, and please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Um, Talk to you all later.